I want to welcome everybody to World Changers with Smiley Brown the Disruptor. I am bringing you thought provoking, mind shifting wisdom, and I want you to grab a notepad and a pen and prepare for a paradigm shift in the next 40 to 45 minutes. You guys, there is a huge shift happening that started maybe about, I would say, what's today? Thursday. I would say Sunday on Christmas. And that's to be expected because those of you who are in World Changer app community and who are part of the inner courts know that we've shifted already into a new month. So we're well into 2023. I mean, Hebraically, we've been there since October, but now the month has shifted. But since the 25th, if you have, so the name of this room is December Shift Update. Um, Exhaustion, headaches, the ringing is louder, the frequency noise in your ear. I mean, just you name it. You should be feeling it, hearing it, sensing it, all that. It's extremely high right now. The presence, the sound, the angelic activity is extremely high. So I wanted to start with that. I want you guys to understand that that is where we are right now. There's a heightened spiritual intensity. It's a strong intensity. Okay. I'm trying to get you guys to understand where we are and kind of get a feel for what your body is doing. Some people, your periods may be kind of out of whack. Just your body is out of whack. And that is not a bad thing. I need you guys to hear me. That is not a bad thing. Yes, the smells are even stronger. This is definitely a time for you to pay attention. Pay attention to the smells, pay attention to the ringing. Couple things I want you to write down before I even get started is when you hear the ringing, I want you to kind of stop because the ringing is all day sometimes. Sometimes it's not at all. Like right now, I don't hear it. But then at any given point, it'll just come on. What were you doing before? What were you doing right before you noticed it? What were you thinking of? What were your thoughts? What were you talking about? Pay attention to see if there is a theme. Pay attention to see if it's something that God is trying to gain your attention with. We know that I spoke on before that it's the frequencies of the when CERN was turned on, but that's not the only thing that womp in your ear is doing, or it sounds like waves. It's just you're hearing something and you're feeling something. I want you to start being more in tune with that. Do not dismiss it and do not just be like, oh my God, here it goes again. No, pay attention. Why does it show up? When does it show up? What are you doing when it shows up? What did you do when you stop doing it? Does it stop? Does it intensify? What makes it worse? What doesn't make it worse? Okay? I want you to pay attention to that really. And then what I wanted you to really get is I don't know how many of you have been with me since Arise in 2021, early 2021. But we've gone back to 2008. We've gone back to 2015, and he's very specific. Now I'm going to walk you through because we're going back again. I'm gonna walk you through exactly where we are so that you can pay attention and you can gain the knowledge and the wisdom that you need from this. Okay. So the person's not in here, but someone sent me a random prophetic word. They said that someone's been sacrificed, and they're talking about me in particular. Okay. I had literally, so God has been sending people within the community to kind of send messages to me because something should have happened already in my life, like many of you. But something should have happened. It should have broken already. It should have manifested already. It should be in my hand already. And I know that, and God knows I know that. And I literally was like, God, what is going on? Because if things don't change, you're going to lose one because you said. you've shown, you've spoken, you've confirmed, reconfirmed that this is what should have been and should be. And this started in August. And I said, since you've reconfirmed August, I said, by September, my birthday, if it's not X, Y, and Z, deuces. Like this is how me and God talk. I'm being real. And I told him, I tell him all the time, if things don't change, you're going to lose one because I'm doing what you ask. I'm obedient. Am I perfect? No, but I'm obedient. I honor you. I turn the other cheek when you say to turn the other cheek. I listen to you. There's a remnant of us who actually do obey and listen. And when you're in that position, you have a right. You may not have been taught this, and I may be ruffling some religious feathers, but you have a God given right to be like, God, you about to lose one that's obedient, one that honors you. Because your word says, if you honor me, you live like I tell you to live under my statutes, turn the other cheek when I say, I will come out of heaven with smoke in my nose, and I will smite your enemy on a cherubim. That is his promise. And I hold him to every word he says. So my birthday came on September 8th, and I didn't get my answer. And I waited a week, waited 2 weeks, and a random friend that I hadn't spoken to in months said, God said, wait. I said, oh, man. So I said, all right. I mean, she just sent me the scripture, wait on the Lord and you shall mount up on wings. I was like, ugh, all right. And she's just like, you ain't even respond. I said, cause I was in my flesh. I mean, I'm human. I do the same thing y'all do, just a little different. But I got it. He answered me. He answered me and said, I said, wait. That was September. October, we do the new year. November, 2 people send me a message in our community. One says, I had a dream about you, and there was a woman in the kitchen cooking, and she said, tell her that she is deeply concerned because it hasn't manifested yet and it should be here. But God says, you got to wait. I said, here we go again, because God already knew. He said, you got to wait because it has to be the perfect timing so we can stop the unnecessary setbacks and interruptions. By this time, that's 2. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need no more confirmation. He's given me what I needed. I got what I need, so I'm good. All right, that's November. Now I'm catching you up because we're doing a December update, a December shift update. So then here comes December around, what are we on, the 28th? Maybe the second week, like around the 5th to the 10th, somewhere around there. Someone sends me a message and says, I hear healing. I said, okay, I can see that. I didn't see that's what you were doing, but I'll take that's what you're doing. Then they sent another message on the healed and said, and I also hear sacrifice of time. You've sacrificed time. And God is healing that sacrifice. Hear me, because this is not just for me. I'm releasing this, and y'all know what I'm doing. This is testimony time. I'm releasing this because it's not just for me. So pay attention. Grab what you need to grab. He said, I'm healing time. You have sacrificed and God's about to heal it. I said, okay. I dismissed it. Didn't dismiss it. I accepted it. And then I dismissed it because I was just like, all right, cool. And then the week of Christmas, like the 23rd to the 26th, somewhere around there, when this shift started, when these headaches, I've had a headache for the entire week right behind my eyes. And I don't do headaches. I don't get headaches. The only time I have headaches is when God is upgrading me, elevation, or he's downloading new information. That is it. I don't do headaches. I've never suffered from headaches. And I've had one for about 4 days now. And I was just like, God, what is this? But I had the dream. And in the dream, I literally heard my mom called me and said that a pastor died in her neighborhood. And I jumped up and I was just like, that's random. I don't know of a pastor in her neighborhood. So I quickly called her. I think this was Christmas Eve. I quickly called her and said, hey, Mom, do you have a pastor that lives in your neighborhood? She goes, nope. Why? And I go, I just had a dream, a weird dream that in the dream I called you. Or you called me and you said that a pastor died. And she was like, oh, that happened 4 years ago. You guys, hear me, follow me. I had a dream that my mom called and told me that a pastor died in her neighborhood. And I was in the house that I am now, in the bed that I am in now. I told you sometimes he does timestamps so that you know that it's now, so that you understand what he's trying to show you timing wise. All of this is leading somewhere. I said, huh. I said, this already happened? She goes, yeah, this happened 4 years ago. I said, what? Got off the phone and I just laid there. I called my accountability partner and I ran everything down. I said, wait a minute, hold up. God told me that he was healing me from the time that I sacrificed. And now my dream just gave me the time frame, 2018. So I need you right now to go back to 2018. We've done this before. Many of you already know. My time frame, the date in the time frame is 2018 August. Between August and December. If you know what happened in your life, if you sacrificed, the person that I was talking to, she was like, oh, I know exactly where I was. I was at my wit's end. I was sure enough like, God, you about to lose one for real if you don't do something. What did you sacrifice? What were you fed up with? What did God tell you? Give it to me and I got you. If you know, drop a 1 in the chat. 2018, August to December. I just want you to think about it. Many of you immediately, she knew. It didn't take me long until, and clearly, yeah, it's funny. I opened my eyes and I saw you. Yeah. What was it? That was 6 years ago, 5 years ago. What and where were you? Do you know? Okay, so most of you know. Many of you know. He is, so you sacrifice something. I'm not going to, for those in the inner courts and those in my World Changer community 4 years ago, I was going to give this testimony, but when I tell you this headache, every time I picked up my phone to do it, it was, nope, couldn't do it. It was such a fight to do it. Like I did your prophetic calendar already. I did the new month already. I'm going to post it today. Um, I'll probably just record it and send you guys a message. But mine was huge. Mine was so huge. It was a dichotomy of wealth and lack. Wealth and lack. That was mine, the decision I had to make. And it hurt. And I'll go deeper into that for those of you guys in the community because it's a more smaller, intimate community. I'm not going to do that on here. But he's healing that. Now, your instructions, same as when he told us, go back 13 years. Same as when he told us, go back to 2015. If you know what you did, what you had to sacrifice, where you were, all of that between August and December, God is healing. He's healing all of that because it hurt. Oh, we were in some binds. We were in some tough situations. We were in critical situations. It was some were life and death, literal. Some were life and death of a relationship, a marriage. Some were life and death of finances. Some were life and death of your relationship with your family, your kids, whatever. It was real and it was tough. And you had to honor him. You had to sacrifice to say yes to him. You had to turn the ultimate cheek. I mean, this was real. It was real and it was harsh. Okay. He's healing that. That's the first thing you got to let him do. So so this was on Saturday or Sunday. Since then, I've had the craziest headache. Okay. That doesn't mean you are, because I reached out to my accountability. I was like, how have you been? How's your body? She goes, oh, my body's fine. But these attacks in the natural, no joke. So you may get the same as me spiritually in your body, headaches, or it may come but be aware because that is the release. Okay. So be on the lookout as he begins to heal. some things are going to start to manifest in your life. Some things are going to manifest in your heart. She was just like, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm just pressing through because I know what he said and I know what we got this weekend. Okay. So that's one thing. Let him heal you. I've been going back to different scenarios since in 2018 around the whole situation. Don't just rebuke it. Don't be like, why am I thinking about this? He's taking you back for a reason. Watch the video, watch the film in your mind's eye, and then just follow his lead. See what he needs you to do, see what he wants you to do. It may be somebody you may need to apologize to, whatever. Follow his lead. Um, and then he's going to remind you what you gave up. He's going to remind you, because I remember thinking of something specific, and I was just like, man, when I was at that point in 2018, I had this, I had that, I was here. He's going to remind you ever so nicely, and this is God, I'm not talking about the enemy, this is all God. He's going to remind you, and then he's going to start to restore it. So those of you who are already on the accountability partner, you already know where we are. I want you to add the word and the phrase that I got is angel. God sent an angel of time to restore me. Send an angel of time to restore me. That's your new phrase. Okay. This may be your only phrase, or this may trump the other four that we're saying. This may trump all of them, or this may add to it. It's up to you. If it's that, I know what I'm saying. I'm saying two, just two, that have really hit home for me. Those are your instructions. Okay. What he is doing, what he's doing is helping you redeem time, restore time. You sacrificed 4 or 5 years ago, and now he's about to collapse time right in your face. Now he's about to show you exactly what you should have. And I said it the whole time. I said, I'm not gonna say it on here. I'm gonna say it when I do it on the private call. DeCarlo, what question did you have? If you want to come up. So you can ask your question. I want to make sure I understand your question, if you can, or restate your question, so I can make sure I answer it correctly. But yes, it's going to be quick. And right now I hear the fire alarms. I hear not fire alarms, but I don't know if you can hear it because I don't have my headphones on. But that's either police or fire, but it's an alarm. In reference to what I said, when I said, God, you're going to lose one. No, I'm not going nowhere without him. What I'm doing is I'm doing what Moses did. He says, you cannot kill them because that is you that's going to look crazy. God has to move in my life because it's going to be him that's going to look crazy when things happen to me. And I'm one of his most obedient, not the obedient, but anyone who knows me knows how obedient I am. So the problem is when I say, thank you for saying that, because I'm sure you're not the only one who was like, wait, hold up. And I appreciate that. Thank you. So basically what it is my pastor said, when you hold God accountable to what he's going to lose, when you hold him accountable to what he said he's going to do, he said, you can't kill them because you're not a God of destruction. Moses said that. I'm reminding him that you have to do something in my life. One, because you have me on display. I've willingly said, okay, open my life up, let my community in, let my friends and family in. I proclaim your victories. I proclaim your word. I teach your word. And I'm now getting jacked up. The least of them will look at me and be like, well, shoot, if she does all that and she still gets that, what is going to happen to me? So when I say, God, you're going to lose one, I'm reminding him of his word of if you don't move, those who you have watching me are going to feel like, well, dang, if she can't get it, how the heck am I if she's pulling me up and she's X, Y, and Z? So, yes, thank you for asking for that clarity. I kind of knew where you were going, but I just wanted to make sure. I appreciate that. So, for anybody else who kind of questioned that comment, that's you can use, she said, you can use that when you know. See, one thing about it is when you know that you're obedient and disciplined, no, you're not perfect. I'm not claiming I'm perfect. You don't claim you're perfect. But when you obey him in tough things, there is a remnant out here that's obedient. There is a remnant that is willing to put down and lay their life on the line to serve you and others. Do we still have our issues? Yes. Do we still fall short? Yes, but we quickly get back up, dust ourselves off, and do it again. We quickly turn the other cheek. He's dealt with us with the, I need you to stop kicking and screaming. He's dealt with us with, I need you to stop dragging your feet. He's dealt with us with, you are a leader, and leaders know when you've accepted that you're a leader, you know you can't do certain things. So you can say certain things. So, but yes, you're welcome. Thank you. So yes, these are the things that we have pressing in to the new year and beyond. He is literally restoring time. And then the reason why the phrase that I got is about angels and time is randomly, don't even know who this person is on my Instagram yesterday. I'm like, all right, God, well, let's go. If this is what you're doing, I want to see it. I want proof. I want confirmation. And I open up Instagram and I see prophetic something out of Australia. Didn't know I was following them. And she was live. Never listened to them before. Don't know who she is. Clicked on it just because I was drawn to it. And she's talking about an angel of time. And I just smirked and said, all right. And literally, she goes, you guys, I'm ministering in this conference and I see two angels appear. And I'm like, God, who are they? And they're like, he's like, angels that are going to restore time. Many people, and she just started repeating what I said. Many people have sacrificed. Many people have done so much, and the enemy has stolen time. Like they should have been light years from where they are right now. And it's been 10 years and they're still in the same place, still waiting on the same thing. And he said, I'm sending angels of time to restore and to give back. And at a blink of an eye, they're going to be where they're supposed to. So that's where the next phrase has come from. And I told you guys, I feel like this is going to be something we're going to keep going and keep doing. So all the phrases, you can say them all. The first one up until now, let the Holy Spirit lead you. As he leads you, you do it. Like I said, with all those phrases, I'm only saying 3. I'm saying, thank you for sending the angel of time to restore time to my life. And then I'll say it in different areas. Thank you for the angel of grace, which has done phenomenal things in my life since I've been saying that. And the last one is I enter into the supernatural shift that is in process. Those 3 phrases that I've given you guys, they have shifted and changed my life. So I'm staying right there until he shifts and gives me another one. So, does anybody else have any questions? Anybody else have any comments or anything they want to add? Someone sent your YouTube video, came across about an angel. Oh, okay. I'll check that. Thank you. I would definitely check that. Anybody want to come up and share? We've been doing this for 2 weeks now, and so many things I know has been happening. This is helping me so much. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I've been having water dreams. Yes, ma'am. And when you get the prophetic calendar word, you'll understand why you're having water dreams right now, especially right now, because we're heading into a different season because it's a new month. So it's a new season, and it'll explain the water. I promise you. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I just want to say that I am already feeling and seeing things already change. I've been with my accountability partner and I've been saying all those four phrases. And you're right, some of them do hit more home than the others, but I say them all anyway. So now I know that to just keep repeating the ones that hit home more. So I'll definitely do that. The other thing is that he when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And so, when we travail, we are constantly, in his presence. We're like in God's ear, and he's hearing everything that we're saying, and all these changes that are happening. Like I said, like for example, the other day I got a call. I'm a transaction coordinator. They've been telling me, oh, we need a bilingual transaction coordinator. We need one. And I'm sorry, you just fell into our laps. Well, this was back in like March. I've done 2 transactions, and both transactions I brought myself to the table. So it's just like, okay, so now they said the other day, she was like, oh, we'll have a one-on-one. And they were like, oh, and she didn't, the way that she said it, she didn't say it like that, but I took it like that, where she said, oh, basically you costing us money because we have to pay for an account for, we have to pay for the account for you, we have to pay for your email and all this other stuff. And so I said, look, and I didn't get mad. That was the fantastic part of it. I did not get mad. I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to cost anybody any money. If you want to go ahead and let me finish out this transaction that I'm doing, which I'm doing my own transaction, I said, let me go ahead and do that. And once I finish, I'll let you know. You can just take me off. And if you in the future you need me, you need a bilingual, transaction coordinator, then you can go ahead and call me. And I was just like, okay, God. And I hung up and I was like, what did you just do? What did you just do? He said, I'm making you available for other things. I just praised him. Because like I said, it's this shift, it's already happening. It's already happening. And if it's happening for me, it's happening for Somalia, it's happening for all of us because we're all together in the same body. I just wanted to share that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because that is huge. Because that's also another thing that's happening in this season. He is removing us and removing certain people, things, and situations from your life because they can't go with you where you're going. They cannot. Even if you try to hold on to them, you will bring destruction to your life. So he's making you available. As soon as you were going there, I was like, oh, he's making her available. He's freeing up her plate. Some of you, your plate is too big. How many of you been with me since Arise that you already know what I'm about to say? You need to obliterate your plate. You need to see your plate and everything on it, and you need to give it to God. When I say everything on it, the person you're dating, the person you're talking to, the job that you have, the business that you have, and all the facets that you're doing, family members. You need to put it on one plate and give it to him and see what he does with it. Some people, I'm not even gonna go there. I want you to just see what God does with it. Give him your plate. And then when he does what he does with it, I want you to literally, actually, we're going to do that right now. We're going to do it right now. Because some of you will not do it because you will do it if we do it all together, but then you're going to get off and not do it. So I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to literally envision yourself on your knees and see him standing in front of you. Of course, you can't see his face, but you can see him either seated on the throne, you're at an altar. I just want you to close your eyes right now. If you're driving, please pull over. Close your eyes. Unless he's teaching you to do all these things visually with your eyes open, then keep your eyes open. And I want you to visually see yourself in the realm of the spirit at God's feet. Okay? I see him like the big Lincoln statue. So his legs, his feet, everything is huge. See him how you see him. Now I want you to imagine a plate. And I want you to put everything. I'm married, I got 3 kids, I have a business. They have tutoring, they have swimming. I mean, everything. Okay? Everything. As I'm talking, that's what you're doing. You're envisioning your plate. You are seated at his feet. And as you do that, make sure it's everything. Don't leave anything out. Oh, I volunteer on Saturdays. Oh, I'm a deacon in my church. Oh, I do this over here across town. I sing for this over there. All of it. or I'm a writer, I'm a singer, I'm an author, all the business things that you're doing, everything, leave nothing out. Okay? What did he do with it when you gave it to him? You don't have to tell me, but I want you to write it down in your notes. What did he do with your plates? I already know what he did with your plate. I've done this numerous of times. Whatever he did with your plate, watch him. Watch him physically handle your plate. What did he do with it? What is he doing with it? And then he's going to give it back to you. What is on your plate when he gives it back to you? So you have literally put everything on your plate and you have handed it to him. And now he's done something with it. And as he's done something with it, what did he give you back? What is on your plate? What is on your plate? See, many of us have so many things on our plate that we're not supposed to. Many of you have been told what to do already. Many of you have been told to let go of that, let go of this, stop doing that, do this instead of that. And you're still not listening. So, this is an exercise that helps you understand because he's going to show you in the realm of the spirit. And you can't lie because you sat there and watched it. You sat there and watched him destroy the plate. You sat there and watched him set fire to that plate. You sat there and watched him throw the plate in the trash, stomp on it, whatever he did to it. Trust me, he obliterated it. I know that for a fact. Now, when he gave it back to you, what's on it? You can drop it in the chat or you can raise your hand. Out of all the things that you had on your plate, what's on it? What did he leave on your plate? And whatever he left on your plate, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And everything else, you need to turn it away. You need to stop doing it because you're too busy. You're a busybody. Of course, growing up in the church, many people are taught busy work. In school, we're taught busy work. I'm going to just give you something to fill your time. That's not God. Everything you do for God has purpose and meaning. You're not just doing idle things and then saying, "Oh, I'm busy for the Lord and I'm working." No, you're not. That's not what he asked you to do. And what he asked you to do is waiting over there in the corner and you keep turning a blind eye like there's an elephant in the room and can't nobody else see it. So in the chat, drop in the chat if you want, or you can raise your hand and come up. What did God do with your plate? I'd like to hear from a couple of you. What did he do with your plate? Hello. Floor is yours.
Well, um, first of all, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Um,
Hmm.
the things that you're talking about are things that God has been dealing with me all week long.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a letter I'm supposed to write to, excuse me, and this is what I was talking about. I sent you in the back channel. There's a letter I'm supposed to write to, it's like my letter of resignation. And I have been putting it off. And I was asking myself, why was I putting it off? And mostly it was because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I didn't want people to think that I wasn't a team player. Like I didn't want to be a part of the thing. And it's not bad what I was doing. But then when I was listening, the Holy Spirit, he reminded me of a prophetic word that had been given several months ago. And it was literally work on your ministry, focus on what I gave you to do. And what I had been doing was helping everybody else, being there for everyone else, and making sure everybody else had and didn't do without. But I was being disobedient to God. And so today, when you said do that, to, put everything on my plate, when I put it on my plate and I, gave it to God, it was like, when you finish eating and you go to the trash and you just scrape everything. That's basically what it was. It was like he was scraping everything off my plate. And he gave me back my plate actually empty.
Mhm.
Empty. And it's to start afresh. So I just wanted to share that.
Absolutely. And I did get your message behind, and I was going to say, but I wasn't going to say, but since you came up, you confirmed it. When we are not moving as quickly as he needs us, he gave you a set of instructions. He knows what'll get us to move. Your voice is because you're using your voice in the wrong arena and area, situation, and circumstances than what he has told you to use your voice. He told you specifically to use your voice in this season for ministry. And remember, when we live a lifestyle of repentance, it removes the legal right that the enemy has to come in and attack you in certain areas. When we're disobedient or delayed obedience or just not doing it, whatever the one we choose, because we all get in our flesh at times, that's where that comes in. I guarantee you from today on, you lay your hands on your throat and it'll be gone. The enemy has a right to mute you because you're not in the arena he told you to use your voice. This is Darlene's season. This is your ministry season. Not that it's not other people, not that you can't be used to help other people. But when he says in this season, work on your stuff, there's a reason. And your stuff needs your voice right now. And when you start working on your stuff, other people are going to be raised up to work on the other people that you were helping. But this is your ministry's season, and it needs you 100% fully rested. Right now, we're resting. I told you guys that was on the off fast. You rest, you get a momentum, August, September, October, and then November and December, you're relishing in the words that you got. You're preparing to hit January 1 hard because you have a momentum, but it's a rest time right now. And when it's time to go, if you're not resting, you're starting out when you should have been fresh, already exhausted. And he's trying to get you before you get to that point, because you're going to give all of you to everyone else. And then when it's time to do Darlene's, I'm tired. I'm going to hit the bed. I'll do it tomorrow. And you keep pushing it to the back. And that's not just her. There's a couple of you on here. There's a couple of you on here that are going through that exact same thing. That's why I like when people come up, because it's the masses. We're all connected. We're all connected. He is trying to get you. We're so used to doing. See, this is where that quick and sudden change happens. The suddenlies. I'm a doer for people. I give. I pour constantly within the community, in the app, within the community outside the app, on YouTube, on here. But when he tells me it's my family needs me, I'm pulling back. But I had to learn that. When he tells me I need you to put all that information, all that energy into your stuff, I got to do it immediately or I will miss the window of opportunities, plural, that he is preparing for me because I'm still over here helping others. That's the balance of a leader. That's the balance of someone whose voice is to lead others. The world teaches us give, 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 do, go, go, go. You're a leader. You've got people under you. Yeah. But when do you work on your stuff? When do you do your stuff? When do you build your boat, your lifeboat, for when you need it to rescue yourself? Do you see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of you in here that you do and you do and you do. You're leaders and God is using you. You're the matriarch of the family, or you're the matriarch of your immediate or relative family, your mom, your dad, your siblings. You're the matriarch, but you don't take care of you. You take care of everybody else. We can't do that. We can't, especially when, now you can do that when he's graced you to do that. But when he removes that grace, because he says, I need you to work on you, I need you to get rest, you got to go get rest. You have to. Whatever it looks like, even if it's is not exactly because you don't have the funds or you really don't have the time, but you got to get some kind of rest. Because when God gives you rest, it's because what he's doing is he's giving your body a chance to catch up. Because when he releases you, what you about to do is 10 times more stringent than what you already are doing. So thank you, Darlene, for coming up and releasing that and saying that, because like I said, I know there's many in here. We're doers, we're women, we're nurturers, we're built that way. We're fixers, especially the women that are fixers. All women are not fixers. But if you are a fixer, you see something out of place, you're going to fix it. You want someone else to fix it. You're a fixer of men. You're a fixer of your children. You are there that they lean on you so much that it's almost a crutch. And that's okay. But when God says pull back, you got to know when it's time to pull back and zip it and do you and let them fall. Because that's the problem. We don't know how to let other people fall. But if I've said this before, you have a toddler who's learning how to walk, a baby who's learning how to walk, and you don't let them fall, and every time they're about to fall, you catch them, they're never going to walk without you. When you step back and your child was trying to walk, they're looking at you and you're like, I'm here. Go ahead. I'm here. Because they know, well, if mommy's right here, I'm not going to fall. But if you cushion that fall, when will they learn? Shoot, I need to trust my legs. Shoot, I need to trust my mind to make the decision to go 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other. They're never going to trust themselves. They're never going to mature. We do that with our men. We do that with our kids. We do that with our siblings. We do it with our assignments. And we don't trust people and we crutch them and we don't let them fall. How did you learn to hear God's voice? How did you learn to hear right from wrong? How did you know? You fell. You said, I'm not doing that no more. You fell. Oh, I thought that was God, but that sure wasn't God. You had to fall. So do other people. They have to. There was another person that said something. Well, let me go back in order. So Jennifer Jones says he reached down and grabbed it. I couldn't see what he did with it, the items on my plate, but he handed me a clean plate, clean gold plate. Yep. I would look up the significance of gold plate. That's royalty, that's luxury, absolutely along that realm. But yeah, everything on your plate, he's telling you is done. That season is done for everything that you put on your plate. So go back and write in your journal everything you put on that plate, and one by one start removing it. And that's a faith walk because he didn't give you nothing else to do. But what he is saying is everything that's on your plate is taking up the one thing he needs you to do right now. And some of it brings you money. Some of it is your income. And he needs you to trust him. And it's going to be hard, but you're just going to have faith. Because what you are doing is hindering his move in your life. That's why he removed everything off your plate. And then someone else said, I'm literally at work. No, that wasn't it. I feel like I've been stuck for like 18 years. I need anyone else who feels like they're stuck. I need you to listen. If you made a choice and it derailed you or it took you in a different direction or it stopped you, you feel these things. Because we know sometimes we make a choice and we're like, this is not my life. I don't know whose life I'm living, but this is not my life. I did not sign up for this. This is not what I was promised. This is not even what's in my dream. You know the point. She knows. She said 18 years ago. If you know, if I'm talking to you, I want you to raise your hand. Because I know she's not the only one in here. If you feel stuck because you made a decision, a bad choice, and you know you did, it doesn't have to be a time frame. I want you to raise your hand. If I'm talking to you, I want you to raise your hand. Now, the reason why I want you to raise your hand because I want you to acknowledge, okay? You made a decision. and you're now living with the consequences, but you don't have to continue living with those consequences. I want you to go back to that decision. That's not the door. That was the door that was a door that opened the door to the consequential life you're living. But the root to that was before then. What made you make that decision? I want you to literally, I don't care where you at. She's at work. I need you to take a break because it's your breakthrough. If you want your breakthrough before the end of the year, you might as well go ahead and say, I need 15 minutes. I want you to sit and think of what made you. Was it fear? Did you make that bad choice out of fear? That's the door. What forced you to make that bad decision? What came out when that person presented the opportunity? We go left or we go right, we go up or we go down, and you chose. And now you're living in this consequential life that you know. I need you to repent for both of those things. First, repent. So let's say it's fear. Fear forced you to make a decision, a bad choice, and now you're living in a lifestyle of that choice. I need you to repent for making a decision out of fear. I need you to forgive the person if someone is involved. Who is it? Your mom, your dad? Who taught you to that way? Who taught you to react that way? Because that wasn't you. That was learned behavior. You made a choice on a whim. You didn't think about it. You thought about it. You knew what you were supposed to do. You did the opposite. Who taught you that? That's the door, because that's what the enemy is using. So then you repent and forgive the person who showed you all of that, who guided you in that direction. Then you forgive yourself. Never forget to forgive yourself. Always remember, to remember to forgive yourself. Because we're quick as believers and Christians to forgive others, but you sit there in your own mess. Nah, you deserve forgiveness too. Forgive yourself. You're going to forgive yourself because you've been beating yourself up for 18 plus years, 10 years, 5 years, however many years it is, for those of you who raised your hands on top. Forgive yourself for the anger, the anguish, the hurt, the pain, the constant memory of it. Forgive yourself. So you've forgiven the person who showed you, most likely you're a parent, your mom, your dad, or an older sibling showed you how to move like that, made rash, harsh decisions in a split decision moment, didn't think about it, didn't pray about it. You learned that. Forgave them. Now you're forgiving yourself. Now you ask God for forgiveness. And there's two situations. The first situation is the situation where you literally made the decision, the bad choice, the off choice, or the deliberate. Some of us are choice is a choice, but it's still deliberate because you had a choice to make a good choice or a bad choice, and you chose the bad one. The root of that is what I want out, so you don't do that again. That's the fear. That's the doubt. That's the I didn't feel worthy enough. That's the insecurity. That's that. That's the root, because that is what the enemy will consistently use after you get cleansed right here and free right here. That's what he's going to use again, and you'll be back on that path again. So basically what has happened to you is God's ancient pathway that he talks about in Jeremiah 6, God's ancient pathway with the ancient of days, you were on that path, and one decision shifted you to the timeline of the enemy, and that's why you know you've been living a consequential life of a decision, because you can feel that you're not on the path you're supposed to be, nowhere near on the path that you're supposed to be. Your life doesn't reflect it. It doesn't matter what you do. It seems like it's turmoil after turmoil, hit after hit, attack after attack. So uproot right now, command fear and doubt and whatever else that fueled that to come out. Command it to come out. I don't know what it is, but you do. And while you're commanding it to come out, if it's not coming out, It's because it still has a legal right. That means it's in your bloodline. That means somebody in your bloodline, your mom side or your dad's side, passed it down from generation. Generational curses aren't just diabetes and cancer and all those things. It's also your traits. It's also your stubbornness. Oh, you're stubborn just like your dad. No, that's a trait. And that's a generational blood bought right that the enemy will make you not only stubborn to your spouse, but also stubborn and stiff necked and hard hearted to God. That's a trait. If you don't know if it's on your mom or your dad's side, you clean both sides. But most of us kind of know. We can tell, oh, that's my dad all day long. Oh, that's my mama all day long. You know. I want you to repeat after me if this is you. I forgive the first person on my mother's side all the way back to Adam and Eve, who first opened the door, and you name whatever that sin is, whatever it is. I forgive them, and I close the door with the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus Christ. And then you move to your father's side. I forgive the first person on my mother's father's side who opened the door, same sin that you see in your life, that you see in your dad's life, your dad's dad, your uncle on your dad's side. Everybody has that same trait. I forgive them, and I seal it, and I close the door with the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus Christ. And then we move to your dad's side, just in case. When in doubt, clean them all. I forgive the first person on my father's mother's side, all the way back to Adam and Eve, who first opened the door, named the sin, named the trait. I close the door, and I forgive them with the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, your dad's line is your lineage. That is your name, your maiden name if you are a woman. If you are a man, that is the name you pass on. That has the most legal right because that's who you are. That's your DNA, your RNA. Your body should respond 10 times stronger on this lineage line that breaks than the other 3. So you're going to repeat after me. I forgive the first person on my father's side, all the way back to Adam and Eve, who first opened the door, named the trait, named the sin. I forgive them, and I close this door with the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach. Now command it to come out again. You have authority. In this season, I'm teaching y'all to use your voice. You don't need my voice. I don't need to command it. Your voice is just as powerful as mine, and you need to learn that. And you need to operate in that. I've given y'all way too many tools, tricks, and supernatural toolkits, battle strategies. You have the power. Command it to come out. Fear, doubt, worry, whatever made you make that choice at that given time, that is the root. Because it makes you make choices like that all the time. It's not just one, it's multiple. Command it to come up. You have, and decree, I have nothing in common with the enemy of this world in this area. I've cleansed my bloodline. That's what you just did. I've cleansed my bloodline. I've forgiven those who've hurt me in this area, especially the one who taught me how to operate like this. My mom, my dad, my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncle, whoever, my sister. And I've forgiven myself. You have no right anymore. The enemy is a legalist. And whatever right he has, he's going to go straight to God as a judge, and he's going to accuse you. He's going to bring an indictment against you. And we just cleared all of that. So he has to let you go. He has to. Yep, I bet you did feel it because it's your dad. Thank you for confirming that. She said, I felt that last one. Yes, I'm sure you did. And I'm glad. I know you said you at work. I'm glad you took the time because you don't ever want to miss your breakthrough. I don't care what you are doing. Trust me, I may be a business owner, entrepreneur at home, but I was at work, and when I felt it, oh, you would find me in the stock room, you would find me in the dressing room, or I need a break and I need to go to my car, and I would travail in my car, wipe my face, put my makeup and face back together, and go right back on that floor. I'm not missing nothing for no man on this earth. Not doing it, especially not at work when they don't care about you. No. You make sure when you are in a position like she was at work, but you know you're stuck. You know this is for you. You get your breakthrough. You get your breakthrough. Anybody else? Anybody else? I feel like there may be one more person who has something. Um She said I got thrown out. God made it happen then. Amen. I love it. She said God threw me out the room. Amen. Amen. Anybody have anything else they want to add? If you're just not coming in the room, welcome and thank you for joining us for the December shift update. We have been on what I like to call a run. It's a prayer run or it's a declaration run. It's just a run where we're running towards a certain date or time period. We're now 2.5 weeks in, but if you're joining, you're not late. I always tell everyone, whoever joins at whatever point in time you join, this is when you're supposed to be here. You are now on the frequency. You are now ready to hear what your body and your spirit has been already ready to receive. Your carnal mind is now ready to receive it. So if you just hopped in, you're ready. And you did not just stumble in this room, you were summoned in this room. I'm very, very strategic on my rooms, and I ask God to only bring in those who are assigned to my voice and who need to hear what I'm releasing out of my belly that he's given to me. Today we talked about how God is releasing an angel to restore time. We have accountability partners, and we are basically all day long saying the phrase to our accountability partner. We're saying it in excess. I mean, 3, 4, 5 times in a minute, and you're sending a green check, whatever color check you want to send, to let your accountability partner know this is what I said. All it's doing is holding your person accountable, like, oh, I haven't said it in 20 minutes. Let me say it. And then you're like, oh, I haven't said it in 5 minutes. Let me say it. That's all it is. But we're saying the phrase, and it's keeping our mind tunnel vision, keeping us focused on the angel of time. We've said about 5 to 8 phrases in the past 2.5 weeks. We keep shifting and he keeps taking us higher, and people are seeing things. So if you are interested and you don't have accountability partner already, which everyone should, you can drop a 1 in the chat. We have an accountability group on Instagram. And they will gladly welcome anybody who needs an accountability partner. Other than that, if you already have an accountability partner, then that's it. You just tell them what we're doing, or you can give them this recording so they can listen and they'll be well aware of what we're doing. But make sure your accountability partners is one that's going to hold you accountable, not one that's going to take 10 hours to respond. Because that's nah. Mm-mm. Your accountability partner needs to be someone that's like, hey, you ain't text me in like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. What you doing over there? Hey, um, or sorry, I fell off. I'm back. Let's keep going. The encourager, the pusher, those that I've kind of taught you loosely, which I said I'm gonna do a webinar on teaching you how to pick your accountability people, because they need to have the right people. You need to have the right people around you. And call on the right ones. Like, I would never call my soft spoken wife friend to give my husband a hard word that I need to deliver. Like, no, that ain't gonna work. She's soft. She's soft spoken. But I will call my pusher. I will call my challenge friend who and say, hey, this is the situation. And she'll be like, yeah, this is what you need to say. And then I can tweak it. Many of you don't know how to use your accountability. And this is what I do. I teach you how to use the simple things, the foundational things, in world as a world changer, because we're all world changers. We just don't know how to use our gifts to change the world, and that's what I help you do. So there's one person in the chat. Does anybody else need a partner? If you need a partner, let me know. Someone said, I've been using my husband, I'm seeing the shift. And yeah, awesome. I love it. Stick with him then. That's who's your partner then. Anybody else need an accountability partner? There's one person in the chat. If not, I will add her to the Instagram group and she'll just be a part of the group, which is fine. I just need to know by the time we get off so that she's not in two groups, which is fine also because I have four people that I'm holding myself accountable and holding them accountable to because they didn't have anybody else. And that's just who I am. I stretch myself when I need to. That's just helping me. I'm saying it 4 different times all day, every day. Let's go. I'm good with that. Also, I want to let you guys know while you're in here, while I'm waiting to see if anybody else needs an accountability partner, we have some webinars coming up in January. We have a look back webinar. If you are on the email community, you already received it. Please check your spam. Please check your email. It's called the Holiday Updates. There's like 3 or 4 webinars. The first one is the look back. Then we're having a community chat. We're going to look back over the years since you've been with World Changers. Then we're having a community chat to make sure how are you doing, and then we're having a World Changer strategy day. Okay. The World Changer Strategy Day is something that I do personally that he said I need to release openly to help you guys move accordingly. And then I got an email from Tiffany Montgomery when she has a purpose day. I'm telling you, I never can deal with her. He won't let me mess with her. I can't watch her stuff. I can't go to none of her stuff because we are too similar in the realm of the spirit. We get the same thing, different names, different, like slight different ideas, which is cool. But so I realized, this is the power of understanding why he tells you to move. Because if I didn't move when I was supposed to move, it would have looked different. If I didn't move when he said move, we sent out the email 2 weeks ago. And I got her email this week. And I was just like, so you're doing something. So the strategy day is a day that I take for myself. I don't do resolutions. I do movements. I do shifts. I do things hard thing. I do a hard thing every day. That's my thing. When you do a hard thing every day, it doesn't make sense to the carnal mind. Hear me out. It doesn't make sense to the card thing. It makes sense when you do it and then you see it in effect in another area. I have 10 things that I have for you guys to do, right? 10 things that have nothing to do with your business, nothing to do with ministry. No, they're so far left that you're going to be like, what? But it's a principle of a foundation. It's the small things. I've told you guys as an ex elite athlete, if you're a trained singer, if you're a dancer, when you're in the fourth quarter, when you're at the end of your show and you're dancing or singing and your voice is getting tired, you don't just keep singing. You rely on the tips, the tools, and the tricks that an expert taught you how to maintain your voice. You're tired. This is like your fourth set in one day for whatever reason. You're exhausted and your voice does not want to work. If you are trained, if you are an elite, you know exactly what to gargle with. You know exactly what to do. I'm not talking in between sets. If you don't know those things and don't practice those things, guess what? You won't make it to that fourth set. If you're a dancer, at the end of your fourth set, your toe is no longer pointed because you are exhausted. Your muscles are tired. But if you are an elite athlete, you know what to do in between because you've done it every day leading up to that performance. You see what I'm saying? As an athlete, I know when I get tired, if I pump my arms, my legs will do whatever my arms do. Many people don't know that, but I'm a trained elite athlete. So when I'm jogging and I'm teaching my son and he's jogging and he's barely shuffling his feet, I'm like, pump your arms. He's like, why? I said, your arms will, then your legs will follow. And then when he does it, he's like, oh my God. I said, that's a trick. There's tricks to winning and they're legal. And these are the 10 things that I'm going to show you. These are 10 things that I'm going to tell you to do every day, every time you get to do it, so that we practice. You know me in practice. You practice them daily whenever you're at whatever situation you're in. And I'll reveal all of them in the webinar. It's on the 10th. I don't want to say the day because I don't know the day. It's on the 10th. Today is the last day to get the early special bonus price. And then it's going up. If you are in this room, I'm telling you, God is requiring more from you, not just as a woman, not just as a mom, and not even as a warrior of God. He's requiring more discipline. We are entering into 3 months I'm gonna release this and then I'm gonna begin to close unless someone has questions. Like I said, I just did the prophetic calendar and the prophetic word for December, the blueprint that we always get, the Hebraic blueprint. Of course, my throat would start bothering me right now. And we are entering into 3 months of harsh judgments. Hear me. This is the month of judgment. We just crossed over on the 25th. Those of you who have been following World Changers, you already know. We are in a month of judgment. You don't want to be on the wrong side of judging God, of God judgment at all. And I gave you tips and I give you everything you need that he always tells us in dissecting the month, the definition of the month, the angels for this month. But with all of that, if we're entering into harsh judgment, you need to know how to combat that. And the things that I'm giving you will help propel you over that. 10 things that you do. This is why it's not a resolution, because these are habits that you're going to form. These are 10 things you're going to do that's going to transform your life. These are 10 things that you're going to do, very minimal, very minuscule right now when you start them. But as you continue to do them, as you build them, one of them is successful people will never not do this. And I told a friend that, and she was just like, I don't get it. I was like, because in our mind, you always do the right thing. It's an integrity thing. And when you get to a position in God, a level in God, when he's trying to elevate you and bring you higher, give you affluence, influence, a platform, and a voice to be reckoned with, you're going to go through some integrity tests because he's got to let you know what's in you. And what's in us is always when that enemy dangles that carrot, if it's in you, you're going to think about it and you might as well do it because once you think about it, it's a done deal. He needs you to know because he doesn't test you for him because he knows all. He tests you to show you what's in you still that you thought was out. These 10 steps will help you move through this year in your elevation like never before. These are things that I do every year throughout the year. Some of you guys from Arise know some of them, and they've changed your lives dramatically. That's why you're still here. So I'm going to post the link. I don't have the direct link, I don't think. Let me see. Well, no, I don't. But if you are already on the mailing list, you received it. So if you want to quickly do a search in your inbox for holiday updates by World Changers, you can definitely see it in there. If not, I'm going to post the link where you can email my executive assistant and ask her. If you're not on the list, one, you can ask her to be on the list and you can get it. It closes, I think it's today or tomorrow. The early bird special closes today or tomorrow. It's about an hour and a half and it's going to be on the 10th of January. This is something that you don't want to miss. If you're in a court and poor need, you absolutely don't want to miss this. If you are in the World Changers community, you don't want to miss it because we will reference these the whole entire year. And I would hate to be referencing it and you have no idea what I'm referencing because I'm not going to release it because you should have been there. You know how I roll. When God gives you an opportunity, you need to know when to pause and when to honor that pause, when to move and when to honor that move, and when to pray and when to honor that prayer. And there are times when it's just time to move. There are times when it's just time to move and keep it moving. So her email is at the very top, but it's executive.assistant@somaliabrown.com. If you are not on the email list, then I advise you to go ahead and just ask in the subject line, put, I would like to be on the email community, in the email community, and you're interested in it's called the New Year Strategy Day. And she will then send you the link or she'll then send you the email. Please be specific. I'm giving you the exact way to say it. I would like to be in your email community. That way, anything I do, if you miss it in the room, you'll get it in your inbox. She'll send it to you automatically. We send updates once a week and we send what we're doing webinar wise and once a week. And on the heels of that, we're having a kids webinar. This one is dear to my heart. Those of you who have kids who are, and it's never too late. but it's mainly for kids who are crossing that threshold of turning 12 and being held accountable. Do you know how to handle that? Do you know what to do to help your child? He gave me, and this is what I've been doing with my children for the past, my son just turned 12, but we've been doing these all sporadically, and now I'm putting them all into one. Things that I do on his birthday every year for 12 years, things that I do every new year, bracelets that I make sure he has on his wrist, words that we stand on, how he prays. There are certain things that once they turn 12, I don't even know how to explain it, but everything changes because they're now accountable for what they do. 12 is a major year. That's why the Jewish community does the bar mitzvah. It's a major shift, and you feel it. And we in America chalk it up to, oh, it's puberty, oh, it's hormones, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. No, 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 it's not. They are now being held accountable. We chalk it up to them talking back. No, those little lies they used to do when they were 6, oh, it's coming back. It's a habit now. Those little deceitful, sneaky tendencies that most kids have that we're trying to break them out of before they leave our house, those things now have consequences. And that's what we're dealing with. Nip it in the bud as soon as they turn 12. I will show you that. Yeah, that webinar is for those who attend the strategy day webinar. You guys will be first to get that one and to get a seat for that one, and that one is limited because I know there's going to be a lot of questions and it's only going to be an hour and a half. So like I said, click the link. If you're not a part of the community yet, go ahead and ask to be a part of it. If you are already, check your email. She sent it out 2 days ago. Get your seat, grab your notepad, and be ready to be blown away by the smallest little things that'll guarantee you success. I learned it from my track days. I learned it from my elite soccer days. It's the small things. It's the making sure you're on time for practice. It's the mindset of I'm stepping on this court and I'm going to get better, 1% better every day. It's those little things. But now we're doing it for God. And when you do that for an entire year, when you turn around and look back, you did way more than you've ever done in 1 year than in 10 years sitting in somebody's pew, just listening and soaking in. Because what I force you to do is to apply it. So, does anybody have any questions before I close? Anybody have any comments? Make sure nobody's hand is up. I don't want to miss anybody. All right. Well, I thank everybody for joining. The link is up above. Any questions, you know how to reach me. If you're in the community, you know how to reach me. If not, executive.assistant@somaliabrown.com. And you guys have an amazing day. I will be taking this one down and putting it on my YouTube channel. So if you need to listen to it, you better do it ASAP. Because I will be, and they changed it when I take it down. Even if if you're in the middle of it, it would still let you listen. Now, if you're in the middle of it, someone reached out to me. It's like, it just disappeared. So listen to it as soon as possible. If you need to go back and get some of the questions and some of the assignments, if you didn't take notes, and going forward, whenever you come into the rooms, I always tell you to grab a notepad and a pen because God always gives me solutions. I'm a solutionist. I give you solutions and not receive an answer and a solution on how to do it and how to apply it because I'm practical, and that's how you move. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for giving me a follow. Thank you for following me. Thank you for following my YouTube. It's I am Somalia Brown on YouTube. And you guys have an amazing day. This room is closing in 3, 2, and 1. Have a good one, you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys all on the webinar.